Hey Odd fam, welcome back to Am I Too Loud, the podcast with Sofi, aka the mother freaking Odditty. And if you don't know, Am I Too Loud, the podcast is on the road. We are on the road. I am currently in London. I'm currently in Battersea Power Station. I think I'm gonna look outside. Hold on, let me take a drink real quick. I've been loving this whole like ASMR moment. If you're watching on YouTube, you understand what I mean because I'm drinking matcha right now. It's green. It tastes like grass. It has two pumps of vanilla syrup in it. Actually, it's not bad matcha, but I'm in Battersea Power Station. If you're on YouTube, if I look to my left a lot in this video, is because my cousin is staying with me right now at this hotel, and he's currently going to be in and out of the hotel room, and I want to make sure he doesn't affect the audio. So I'm going to be like, looking to make sure that the door isn't opening, it doesn't interrupt, so I don't interrupt my flow. I also want to confess that I already actually started recording this episode, and I was about 20 minutes in, okay, maybe like 10 minutes, 15 minutes in, and I realized I didn't press record again on the freaking mic. And you know what I did? I started over. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I think 4 episodes ago, I was in Ghana and I did an episode with Endurance Grand, an icon, a legend. She's the moment. And in that episode, again, Am I Too Loud is on the road. So I am learning all of this on the go. Like, this podcast is truly rough and tumble. And I forgot to press record on the mic setup. So the first half of the episode is just, it's not terrible audio quality, but it's not the best audio quality. And I just did the exact same thing now. And I'm not going to lie to you. Donald literally, before I hit record, said, don't forget to hit record on the freaking mic. Well, guess who forgot to hit record again? Me. So you know what? I was going to be like, oh, it's going to be fine. We can fix it in post. No, because you know what we're going to do? We're going to keep things fresh and we're going to keep things started. So Endurance, if you're listening to this or watching this, I am so sorry, baby. I am so sorry. Okay. She did tell me the last time to reshoot the episode and I was just too lazy. It was dark. It was raining. She has a leg injury and I just felt really bad that I was going to make her yap again for 30 minutes. I just could not get myself to re-record that episode. So I just didn't. And I technically don't have that guilt in this episode because it's just me talking. So you guys didn't know any of that, but I wanted to give you some context as to why I feel, I don't know. I just want to give you context. So I'm really proud of myself for catching that because that would have been rough. Donald would definitely have been upset at me. So first of all, Am I Too Loud is definitely on the road. How am I feeling, guys? It's been a journey to get here. So let's talk about it real quick because I feel like no matter how many times I tell you guys I am a nomad now, I'm leaving New York, I'm still going to get the questions on my vlog channel, on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube. Where am I living? What am I doing? Am I okay? My mom has called me. Like, my mom literally texted me the other day and said, we need to talk. Not the other day, like earlier this morning. And I was like, we need to talk. First of all, can we talk about that? People that send we need to talk messages. Why? In the history of the world, nobody who has ever received a we need to talk message has ever responded with, okay, whenever you're ready. No. If I ever get a we need to talk message, my heart is in my anus, anal gland, I don't know, whatever is up there. My heart is in there. I'm already freaking out. I'm upset. I'm worried. What could you possibly want to talk to me about that you couldn't probably pick up the phone, call me? The point is, my mom sent me a we need to talk message. So I'm like, okay, first things first, what have I posted in the last 10 days? So this is me like literally going through every single thing and being like, okay, what could she possibly want to talk about? We've already had a conversation. She knows how I feel about certain things. All for this woman to be like, she wants to know what my plans are. And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, she's worried about me. She feels like I don't have a home. That what are my plans when I leave London? Where am I going to go? Who am I going to live with? And I realized the concept of being a nomad, especially for a Black young woman, isn't popular. Right? Right, guys? Like, people seem worried about me. I am fine. So let's talk about it real quick. This is the story behind why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I feel like you guys should have heard this if you follow my vlog channel, but I'm going to do a quick synopsis. My lease ended June 30 this year, 2025. When I moved to America when I was 17. That was about 2014. As an immigrant, this is a story, or the story is old as time. Every immigrant would tell you there is no time once you hit that clock where you are ever at peace. And what I mean the clock that is running down the time till when you are either a citizen of the country you're in or you have to leave that country to further something else. So I came to America in 2014. As an immigrant, my goal when I came here was to go to school. Okay? My goal was to go to school. Anyone will tell you if you're going to school in America, you don't have the luxury as an international student to be enjoying school, especially if your parents don't come from money. You're supposed to figure out how you're going to get the job at the end of the school year, right? So you're a freshman, you're thinking of internships your freshman summer. You're thinking of internships your sophomore year. You're applying for those. You're thinking about where to stay for the summer. You're thinking about the plan. For someone like me, when I was in college in America, I didn't have money. My family didn't have money. My mother didn't have money to sponsor me. Like tuition then was crazy expensive. It still is. Honestly, it's even worse now. So during the summers, I'm thinking, okay, I have to apply to be a resident assistant with the summer. I need to apply to live here in the summer so I can make money. Like that's how I was thinking. At no point was I ever at peace. So I have spent the past 10, 11 years being so intentional. I've never lived in the fucking moment. Since I was 17 years old, I've never lived in the fucking moment. I have not gone on family vacations. I've not gone on trips. I couldn't afford trips. I mean, the trips I used to go to in college, they used to bully me. They've thrown me out of a fucking car in Miami because I went to a fucking trip with some girls who did not give a flying fuck about me because I wanted to at least say, oh, I went on spring break once. I couldn't afford that. Let me not get too riled up. The point is, as an immigrant or international student, that was the story of my life. I spent those years working. I then got a job. I got started social media. I was still working because now you got to get a green card and you become a citizen and then you can breathe. And even now, I don't even think that's true anymore because we have he who shall not be named, Harry Potter reference, in office. And if you're wondering, by the way, why I don't talk about POLITICS on my PODCASTS, it is because of my GREENCARDCANBEREVOCKED. POTENTIALLYMAYBEISHOULDNTTALIKNGABOUTIT. I'm really proud of that. I thought like weather in New York was bipolar. There is such a thing as British weather for a reason because it was thunderstorming this morning. Then the sun came out, went out, was having a good time. Now the sun is out and it started raining again. Now the sun is coming out because I thought, okay, now the weather is perfect. I can record the podcast. It's not going to affect the lighting. Now the sun is about to start peaking. Girl, you better stay where you're staying. Don't come out too much. I get distracted, ADHD. I have been intentional as fudge about where I live, what I do, where my opportunities are. You've seen me chase my dream. I mean, if you follow my vlog channel, you have seen me chase my dreams in real time. You saw me get my master's. You saw me start my new job. You saw me go full time as an influencer. You saw me do all these things. I can fucking breathe. When my lease ended, I remember the first day I went to bed at the hotel room I was staying at and I woke up in a panic. I have anxiety, mild anxiety. Actually, I have, what is it? What did my therapist say? I have severe anxiety, mild depression. I think that was like 2 years ago. So I feel like that diagnosis must have changed, especially the depression part. I woke up with anxiety. I mean, like I was about to go into a full panic attack. I was freaking out. Why in God's name did you not get a house? And if you're following my vlog channel, you know I've been touring houses at the same time. Like that's what I mean by I'm always planning. I was touring. I told myself, oh, you're going to travel for 6 months. You're going to go to LA. You're going to go here. You're going to do that. You're going to go this. You're going to go backpacking. The moment something went wrong, I immediately went back to, okay, we're going back to square one. We're going to get a house. We're going to go sit in Jersey. That was like my comfort zone. The day after my lease, when my apartment was all packed up, I said goodbye. I woke up in a panic and I did the first thing I typically do every morning. And I think I've said this a little bit on my vlog channel. I checked my bank account and I don't know if anyone does this or has ever done this, but I'm going to tell you why. And I don't say this to brag or anything. I hope you know that. I say this to explain to you how deep and dark my life was. I mean, I didn't have anything when I first came to America. I mean, my mom is a single mom we come from a well-to-do family, but I wouldn't say my mom was well-to-do enough for me to survive living in America by myself. I don't even remember her being able to send me any sort of money that was substantial enough, maybe like $200, $150 every 3-4 months. Honestly, she just didn't have it. So I went to school on a scholarship, master's scholarship, all of that stuff. And I worked my ass off through my master's degree, through my bachelor's degree. I remember friends would tell you, I would drink Gary to bed. If you know what Gary means, then if you know, you know. I would do a lot of things to survive. And for me, this habit of waking up and checking my bank account was a thing that I used to do to at least see what I had to do to survive that day. That's where the habit came from. There are days I will open it and sometimes I never used to open my bank account because I knew there wasn't any money there, but I didn't want to be confronted by that. So instead, even if I knew I'd been overdrafted, I would off all my notifications. I would still spend, knowing fully well that there was no money in that account, because what can I do? What can I freaking do? And at some point I started reading books about financial responsibility, and they said the first thing you should do if you're struggling with your finances is confront the problem. So what I started doing to confront the problem was look at my bank account. Like, it's like a thing I do every morning. I open my shameless plug Chase app, my Amex, my Capital One, my Discover. I would open all those accounts. I'll be like, okay, this is what we have today. This is what we're working with. How can we move forward? And it's become a habit that I used to do when I didn't have anything. And it's still a habit I still do when I now have something. And for me, I think that day when I woke up in a panic, I remember looking at my bank account and going, okay, you're okay. Because I woke up really anxious. And I remember looking at it and I go, okay. And I looked and I said, if I was to live in this hotel room from now till the end of the year, I would still be comfortable enough to survive with money still coming in and me working. So that means you're okay, Sophie. The plan still works. You said you don't want to pay $6,000-$7,000 for rent anymore for a 1-bedroom in New York. You said you want to travel and see the world. You're going to be back. You're going to come back. But first you said you wanted to go to London for the first time. It's okay to do that. And that's exactly what I did. I just said, I'm going to beat this anxiety and I'm going to travel. And it's been 2 weeks since I did that, and I have no fucking regrets. I'm so excited for y'all to see the episodes I'm about to film. I have some really, really cool people who are actually my friends coming on the podcast. I'm prioritizing my second season being me and my friends having conversation, because I think the starting season 2 with my mom was really special to me, because my mom is like the closest person to me. If you understand my story, you know how important having my mom's approval was. And then having Endurance come up next. And then having Donald, of course, as always. Having Ptolemy. If you can see the trend, these are people who are really, really close to me. These are like some of my best friends coming on the show. I don't want to just have folks who I'm not close to. Because first of all, I don't think I'm into the interview host guest vibe yet. Hopefully maybe season 3 is when I'm like, let's bring on the big guns. Okay. Season 2, I think, is more of like, let me show you guys who my friends are, because I think I have some really cool friends, but I also like have friends who are very different people from me, who are different people from what you guys are used to. I think me and my friends have really cool conversations, and I want you guys to be a part of that. And I also think that my podcast is really special. So I think it'll be a disservice to myself if I try to make this what it wasn't, by trying to bring people on that, although I'm friendly with or I'm cool with, aren't necessarily people who I would be like besties with. So I think I'm bringing on my besties. So the next episodes are going to be really cool, because Am I Too Loud is on the road. So yeah, anyways, that was a pretty long intro, but I think we love our intros in the Red Deuce Solo episodes, because what are we talking about in today's episode? I think you can already see by the title. I think we're going to be talking about Love Island today. We're talking about anxiety and anxious attachment styles. Love fucking Island. Love Island. Huda, Hamaya, Ace, Taylor, Alandria, Nicolandria. Yeah, Maya Papaya. I have so many thoughts, but first, let me preface this freaking video by saying, okay, I did not watch any episode. Let me explain. I just can't sit through it, guys. I have anxiety. I can't do it. It gives me stress. It makes me freak out. Shout out to the people on TikTok that do the Love Island debrief. Let's get into it. Love Island debrief, episode debrief. I do the episode recaps. I do the first looks, the last looks. I do everything else but watch the episode. I even vote. I watch all the recaps, the scene cuts. I do everything else but watch the full episode. And I know my opinion shouldn't matter, because I didn't watch the full season through, that's fine. You don't have to listen to my opinion, but I'm still going to say my freaking opinion because you're on my podcast. You're on my podcast, so you have to listen to me. Okay. First of all, I was a Nicolandria stan even before you guys could see it. I was Nicolandria from the day. Like, the first episode dropped and he said the comment, I don't have any breast milk or something like that. I said, oh, that white man likes black women. Also, I feel like I only said this to my close friends and I don't want to get in trouble. So my editing team, don't cut this out. Leave it. Don't put this in a reel or a teaser. Nick follows me. He likes black women. Guys, Nick, well, not Nicolandria, but Nick has been following me since March 2024. I went back to my page and I was like, what did I post in March 2024 that made that man follow me? And I realized maybe nothing crazy. Maybe probably something around like a trip. I don't know. The point is I saw that he's been following me since March 2024, which means that boy likes himself a black woman, or he supports the culture. He supports black women. And he just seemed like a cool guy. Now, I'm not one to give white men their props. I'm just really not. I have beef with mediocre white men for a reason. However, Nick, when he said that breast milk comment, I remember, I swear, I literally said, oh, he really likes her. Okay. So I'm team Nicolandria all the way. I saw it from the beginning. I definitely feel like Nick could have handled his situation with Sierra better. But I also will say, as a black woman, there are so many times when I know when a white guy thinks I'm attractive, but I also know when he doesn't have the balls to make the move because he thinks I wouldn't like him. And I think the way Alandra portrayed herself, she made it abundantly clear. She wanted a dark-skinned, chocolate, southern man. And then Taylor was the dark-skinned chocolate. So that boy had a cowboy hat on in the heat. In the heat, he kept that cowboy hat on in Fiji. He probably was swimming with that cowboy hat on. There was no way in godforsaken fudging earth that he like Nick would think he had a chance. There was no way. So I think for all of those reasons, Nick was never going to make a move unless Olandra showed him that there was a path there. And I don't think she was the kind of girl who was going to be disloyal or fight for a white boy. Like, girl, ain't none of us doing that. So I understood him not trying to fight and just like accepting. Because I feel like every interaction we saw of him and Sierra, you could tell he was just accepting it. He was like, this is where my journey is. This is my last bus stop. I'm going to stick to it. I mean, like every bombshell that came in, Nick went to the bombshell. Like he was not trying to hide it. Right. And also the Taylor situation with Olandra is a perfect example of a black guy not liking a dark-skinned black girl and being too, I don't want to use the word selfish, but being too selfish. I'm going to use the word selfish and not telling her to her face. Because I feel like every time he made comments about not liking Olandra, it was never to Olandra. It was to his boys, to the camera, never actually to her. So I think the decisions she made was based off of the fact that she thought he really liked that they had a thing. They were slow burning, but Cordell and Serena slow burned the entire fucking season until she crashed out and then he fell in love with her even more. She probably thought, oh, this is the same thing that's going to happen to me. We're all probably reasonable people. And that didn't happen. I understand that. I would also say it makes sense that Taylor likes Clark. It just made sense. I also want to point out that I'm really not talking about any of the white couples. And it's not necessarily a prejudice thing. It's just a interest thing. Like, unless there was like a boom, I can see the love in your eye. Most of the white couples for this season, which wasn't a lot, honestly, this was a very diverse season, guys, if I think about it. This was a very diverse season. Anyways, I got distracted. The point is Nicolandra Nation for the win. Now, you're probably wondering, okay, Sophie, did you just want to talk about Nicolandra as a thing? I actually wanted to talk about attachment styles in this episode. And if you don't know what attachment styles are, I mean, neither do I. Give me a second. I visited my cousin in Manchester. I surprised her this weekend. And my cousin is a big attachment style person. Like, I'm telling you, like, she literally, I think after the surprise, 10 minutes later, she goes, what's your attachment style? And I was like, I think I know it because I was in a situation once where I vaguely found a TikTok that referenced the person having a different attachment style to me to explain their behavior. But she explained it to me even more. So I went to Google as always. There are 4 sort of like buckets of attachment styles. There's secure, anxious, avoidant, dismissive, or avoidant, fearful. Or people call them secure, anxious, preoccupied, avoidant, dismissive, fearful, disorganized. So basically dismissive, secure, fearful, anxious. Secure attachment styles are oftentimes, you have healthy boundaries, you have mutual trust and support, you're able to sort of do controlled conflict resolution. Anxious, you have a fear of abandonment, you need constant validation, you're dependent on your partner for your self-worth. Dismissive avoidant is you avoid intimacy and vulnerability, commitment issues, and guarded and closed heart. Fearful avoidant, your fear of rejection, hard time trusting and relying on your partner, and low self-esteem. Now, you can have a mix. So you can be secure anxious. You can be secure dismissive in terms of you could be secure in your relationship, but maybe you also might maybe have commitment issues because you can be secure in yourself, but you still are not sure if you can trust the other person to be good to you. You know what I mean? So of course, with everything, there's always gray areas. Nothing is black and white. I say all that to say, Alandra had a anxious, fearful avoidance style. And the person who has been causing all the drama is Huda. And I actually have a very interesting take on Huda's behavior in the villa, but we're going to talk about it from the perspective of Huda is a very anxious, avoidant, fearful attachment style. And I am also anxious, fearful, avoidant. Now, here's the thing. I see a lot of comments of women going, oh my God, Huda reminds me of me. So because of that, I relate to her. I want to support her. Shut your fucking mouth up. You stupid. That's no. Because you can relate to someone doesn't mean you should support them. You're working on yourself. You should be working on yourself. I am tired of seeing comments where people are like, oh, this bad character reminds me of me. Let me support this bad character. We know it's bad character. Why are we supporting it? Because everything she did in that villa is bad character. It's inexcusable. She was in that bed counting down for Chris. I am so sorry, by the way. If you don't watch Love Island, the middle 30 minutes of the episode would probably be so annoying for you. But I promise I'm going to try to make it make sense for people who don't watch the episodes or watch Love Island. Because I think what I'm going to essentially try to do is connect it to relationships and attachment styles in a way that, if anything, you get something out of it, right? So as I was saying, Huda is a person, I was going to say character, but she's an actual human being who went on Love Island. And Huda is Arab, Palestinian. I don't know where her descent is. I shouldn't have even brought that up, but she's, of course, she's brown. Yeah, I would say that. She's beautiful, absolutely stunning, gorgeous. She's a fitness influencer. She has a daughter. She's amazingly beautiful. And from the first episode, you could see her immediately latch onto another person who was Jeremiah. Jeremiah is the typical definition of an avoidant, except I would also argue that Jeremiah could also be a secure avoidant who might also have some communication issues. So you see what I mean by nothing is black and white. Things are gray. Because I know Huda knows she's hot, she went for the hottest guy in the room. And I think both of them immediately saw each other as their type, and they immediately went into love bombing. And as someone who is a anxious attachment style person, love bombing can make me feel safe. And then when it stops, it just throws you for a spiral. And we saw in real time this girl go from being so secure a little bit for the first 2 days into going into a freaking spiral and crying every day, hating on the people coming in. Because in Love Island, if you've never watched it, you have bombshells who come into the villa when people are established as couples, and the main jobs of these bombshells are to find and be in a couple. So the person who actually won the season was a bombshell who ended up winning. She actually won with a bombshell too, which is really cool. So yeah, I don't even know bombshell. Brian was like, everyone just wanted Maya to win. When I think about myself too, I never really thought I had an anxious attachment style because I'd never actually been interested in commitment to that extent. So I've always been very protective of myself, which some could also argue is the fearful avoidant part of me too, because I also have a fearful avoidant attachment style, which is my fear of commitment, my fear of trust, my fear of I don't want to be interacting with you, leave me alone, right? Anyone who knows me will be like, Sophie's very much stay away from me. I'm okay, I'm good, don't bring your nonsense to me. But then when I fall really hard, and then I get insecure. Do you not care about me? Do you love me? Do you hate me? Why don't you want to hug me? Why don't you want to touch me? Why didn't you tell me good morning today? And that to a lot of people, especially someone with an avoidant attachment style, means whoa, you're doing too much. And I saw that play in real time, I think towards the end of the episode, when Huda and Jeremiah, the guy Huda was very first in love with, ended up leaving the villa because it was a very toxic situation for both of them. Especially in an unregulated environments like that. It was very crazy. And then Chris is another black guy that Huda ended up being coupled with. Messy situation. Ends up being coupled with this guy. The last scene I remember from Huda and Chris is when she breaks up with him because he's clearly not giving her the attention she wants. She's feeling insecure about it. I mean, he would do certain things for other people. She'll feel like, why is he not doing it for her? Very toxic cycle with this girl. And even with him too, because you can tell that like he was trying his best to reassure her, but at some point too, that reaches a limit. There's a middle ground. You can be anxious about things and you can want reassurance, but you also need to be able to live on your own and love yourself enough to know when you're just going to accept what the other person is able to do for you and whether or not you're able to accept that for yourself. And with Huda, you could tell she never really was able to do that. And so there's some point where she breaks up with Chris. They're at this beautiful dinner. And she says, when they break up, there's this water. It's like in a shallow like area, right? She says, oh, you know what? Are you going to pick me up or am I going to walk in the water? Something like that. And he's like, pick you up? Like, come in. So you can see how when he looked at her, he was like, no, like you just broke up with me. My feelings are hurt. I'm not going to carry you across water. And I saw the reception of that online being like, oh my God, Chris is horrible to her. He could have picked her up. Why in God's name would a man who you just broke up with pick you up to walk across the water that you are already walked across? He did not pick you up when you guys were together. Why would you pick you up when you're not together? And why are you weaponizing your tears in a way to get him to still do your bidding because you still want to feel secure and attached to him? Do you see where that toxic cycle continues? So Chris walks away. She gets in her feelings. And then conversation goes like, oh, this girl is spiraling. And you can see that. At the end of the day, like she's gorgeous. He's gorgeous. They're both going to end up with gorgeous people if they don't. But I think my biggest thing is, unless they both, especially Huda, unless she does a lot of healing, which she needs to do. I mean, she's a single mom too, right? If she does a lot of healing, maybe she's able to come outside of it. But all the conversations I've seen on her, she went on to call her daddy. Her and Amaya went on to call her daddy. The conversation I've seen is someone who, the worst thing, oh my God, we should talk about this, guys. I was in a situation. I'm going to talk about it real quick. I was in a situation and I told you guys I'm anxious, right? And whenever I feel like my partner isn't giving me what I wanted, I would go to friends to complain about it. I would tell them what the partner is doing wrong. And I always felt like when people told me, especially when I saw couples say like, don't share your problems with the outside world, I was like, no, that's controlling. Like, why would they want that? Because then your partner is controlling you more. I didn't realize that as someone with an anxious attachment style, validation from the outside world makes you feel like your irrational feelings, those feelings are mostly irrational. Your irrational feelings matter or are important. Or if I call a friend, I tell a friend, oh, my partner hasn't called me at all today. For someone with an anxious attachment style, that could mean, well, typically my partner calls me 5 times a day if they're not working. But today they call me only twice a day. So because of that, I feel like they've not called me at all. And I want to comment on that because I'm sad about it because I really want them to call me. I want to speak to them. Your friend hears your partner doesn't care about you because clearly they're not calling you. They're not communicating. You should break up with them. The spiral continues. And I saw that a lot with Huda, where she would say, he didn't make me breakfast, or he gave this person pancakes with flowers. He didn't give me pancakes with flowers. Or she would say like, he didn't look at me when I went down the stairs. He always looks at me when I go down the stairs. Picking at the little things without context. And it just rang a bell in my head of, that is interesting. And then for her to come out of the villa and seeing the validation the public gave her, she has about 5 million followers, I think now, almost 5 million followers now, is going to reinforce that thing in her head of she's right. The feelings she had is right. Those people did her dirty. Rather than her questioning her emotions and her feelings as, maybe I might have been doing too much. And for a podcast called Am I Too Loud or Do I Do Too Much? Because you guys know I always talk about like being like more and being yourself. It's okay to also say sometimes your emotions were too much. Sometimes regulating your emotion is a superpower that you need to learn to do. And she needs to learn to be more of a secure attachment, because if she loved herself enough, none of that would have happened. She wouldn't have to question her self-worth in crying because this man did not look at her when she had the pretty dress on. She would already know she's automatically hot. I think it was a scene where she said, oh, I'm hotter than all these other girls. that's just someone who's very, very insecure talking. That's a lot of my personal experiences. I try to like connect the dots with this. But as always, we have a video on TikTok of some of her crash outs. Let me see if I can bring out some of this.
I'm not gonna lie. Bro! I was waiting to brush my teeth last night, and then she was in the shower talking about...
That's big to say for Jeremiah.
It kind of sounds like you want to drop Huda, and like because she calls you a bitch in the shower last night. I feel like it's just kind of being given up on.
I feel like it's hard for y'all to tell me for 2 weeks to go explore, and then I do explore, and now I'm in the hot seat still for exploring. If I don't give Iris the time of the day, I'm still in the wrong. Now, if I do give Iris the time of the day, I'm in the wrong because I had a strong connection with Huda.
By all means, explore.
Oh my God.
She's there, she's walking.
Fuck you.
Oh, she just flipped somebody off.
She flipped Jeremiah off.
I didn't choose to go on the date today, and that's what I get.
What happened?
I don't know. Huda just said some shit to the boys. What did she say? I don't know.
Well,
I just saw a middle finger fly.
He's a fucking bitch.
What'd you say?
Because of the fact that he had a great day with Iris, because of what we're going through, he's using her as a fucking scapegoat so that he can fucking stay in the game.
Whoa, he did not say that.
I just sat there and listened to every fucking thing he was fucking saying.
Okay. He did not say that. Huda, what are you saying, girl?
He wanted me to go with Iris.
Okay, come, baby. Come. Let's sit down. Come sit down.
No, you're a fucking bitch.
Come sit down.
He's over here playing victim. You're a pussy-ass bitch.
Huda, keep it classy.
Like, fuck you.
Do you want to go down with the boys?
Hell no.
Yo, I'm with them. I'm with them.
No, he's not even there. Literally, Nick is trying to convince him to understand that I'm sitting here crying and he's going and having a great day. Now he's thinking about being with Iris. You're a bitch. You're a bitch.
Jeremiah should have comforted her on that night, for sure.
Pussy ass.
Do you guys understand what we're talking about? Because he was just explaining his side of the story, his perception of things. And she saw that and took that as, oh my God, you're a bitch, F you, all of that stuff. That to me, I don't want to say the word insane because like, of course that's disrespectful for a woman, but understand that like, that's what I mean about having an anxious attachment style and why that is so freaking problematic. So problematic on so many levels. And I know I'm comparing myself to Huda right now in terms of like the anxious attachment style, but I'm saying that in terms of I recognize the signs and I also recognize when someone is not trying to do the work to be better. And I hope I've not seen any proof of that. I can't wait for the Love Island reunion. That I'm going to watch the full reunion. That's a typical example of how like an anxious situation plays out because he simply was explaining his side of the story and she took that as he hates me, he wants to explore somebody else because of our situation, which is wrong, and I'm going to then react and then be explosive. That I think is so disrespectful. And I think the way she constantly carried herself the entire time in the villa was just something that I just was so disappointed by. And I've been following every single creator on after Love Island. Well, following is very, I shouldn't say that, but Shelly and Olandra, specifically two Black girls who ended up being labeled as bullies and being mean, and because of course they're dark skinned and you know whatever, there's been a lot of conversation around that. Guys, I'm tired. You might think it's not that deep, but being a Black woman is a lot, bro. I swear to you, like we can't exist with grace. We can't exist with grace. I'm sitting here trying to do a whole thing about how like attachment style and work on anxiety and work on all these things, but if you're a Black woman, you don't even have that luxury, do you? You don't have the fucking luxury of calling someone a bitch on camera and still getting 5 million fucking followers. You fucking don't. I mean, Shelly just said she did not like the fact that Huda did what she did not insult that girl, did not call her any names, simply said, I didn't like how you did that. You would have hated it if we did that to Jeremiah or anybody you're interested in. And Shelly was labeled a bully. Isn't that interesting? How as a dark-skinned Black woman, our emotions are constantly regulated. And I'm talking right now about like my anxiety and my anxious attachment styles. And I can honestly tell you that I have had partners who have given me the sort of like opportunity to just exist and be me. People always ask me why I say people like, okay, well, I've gotten like 10 comments. But I get the question a lot, would I ever do reality TV? And whether that's in the UK or the US, because even the Love Island UK is crazy. I mean, oh my God, I can't even get into it. I can't. Because I can't exist in a society like that as myself. You guys wonder why I'm so like grateful for the community I have on here with the podcast is because one thing about the Oddity, the Odd fam, the Oddities, my pod fam, y'all know me. Okay. If I see some crazy comment, the person doesn't follow me. Oh, they don't know me. I don't care. If they follow me, but maybe they don't comment like that, I don't care. If it's an OG, if I get a call out from somebody who's like a follower, oh, I'm going to listen. Because I think they know me because they've watched me. You've sort of gotten an idea of who I am. I don't know. I just go into a tangent right now because I just digested that TikTok. I've seen it. I've seen that while I was scrolling. And I think it hits me right now because as I talk about attachment styles, I go back to a recent conversation I just had with someone where I was talking about me feeling very anxious a lot about a relationship I had and how much the person, even with their shortcomings, I never didn't feel safe enough to communicate how I felt. And I never weaponized my feelings to try to be right? Or try to put them down. I hope I didn't do that. I don't think I did. I know I didn't. So it's just interesting. As I watched that, I just thought about Olandra and Shelly and the Black women and contestants on these shows and how they're sometimes always treated like shit. Always treated like shit. And they just have to smile and wave. Anyways, I started the conversation about Love Island because we're talking about Nick Olandra. Nick is this really gorgeous white boy. I honestly thought Nick was mixed. I don't know why I thought that. Maybe he's Italian. I don't know. Essentially, like, he and Olandra are a thing now, and he loves her out loud. And as a girl, I'm going to be having a really cool conversation with someone who is an independent woman who is currently in her soft girl era. And I remember, let me see if I think I don't have it anymore, but I'm going to tell her in this episode, and I can't wait for you guys. I'm just going to spoil it. Tony Tone. I'm going to have a podcast with Tony Tone. Don't tell anyone I said that. And I remember there was one time that I texted Tony and I said, how are you able to freaking let go? Like, how are you able to just be yourself? Like, how are you able to find love? Because it's so hard when you're an independent, strong Black woman, especially because I'm a dark-skinned, bald-ass Black girl. How am I going to fucking find love? Thankfully, I found it. How am I going to find love that cherishes me? Even with my anxious attachment style and with my work and my job, and how am I going to, like, I had to ask myself that because I didn't think I was going to. I've been in so many situations where they wanted to put me down. You can't do that. You're too much. I mean, the amount of times I apologize, even till today, with people about, I'm so sorry I did this. Am I too much? Oh, you don't have to talk to me right now. You can talk to me later. Yes, it's a part of my attachment style, but also people have told me over and over and over again, you need to be quiet. Why are you doing that? Why are you asking for this? I'm also a product of my environment. Anyways, I know, guys, I'm off into a tangent. That just really hit me. I hope Olandra finds the love and support she's looking for. And the last season of Love Island with Serena and Cordell and Janae and Kenny and Leah and Miguel, I see those three like living their best life and being in love, and I'm like, I think it's nice. I think it's nice to find the person you can find understanding with, you know what I mean, and find mutual ground and work towards something. And I don't know, shout out to Nicolandra and Huda, girl, I hope you find some help. We're gonna do some Love Island predictions because we're still on Love Island. I definitely don't want to be bad vibe person because I feel like it's so weird to be like, I don't think this couple is going to last. I don't think I'm gonna say predictions about the couples, but I would say that Amaya and Brian, I hope they find each other more. I hope they do the intentional work of getting to know each other. I feel like they come from really, really good backgrounds. They're both Latino. So I think there's opportunity there for them to even grow and blossom and honestly get married, have babies, all that stuff. Nicolandra, I hope they are together forever. I think they remind me of Lauren and Cameron from Love is Blind. Like, I saw Lauren and Cameron from the get-go, okay? Oh my goodness, I love Lauren and Cameron. If you're not a reality TV person, I'm so sorry. But yeah, you see, even me apologizing, saying I'm so sorry on my own podcast. Why am I apologizing to you? You guys chose to click on this freaking podcast and listen to me. No matter if I'm talking about pooping or belching is crazy, belching or random stuff about Love Island, I don't need to apologize, do I? I don't. But you know what I'm doing? Apologizing. That's how you know. Like, it's insane how ingrained this thing is in your mind. So give yourself grace. If you're just like me, give yourself grace. It's okay. Because the fact that I'm always, like, I think about it when I listen to the podcast, when I apologize, I say, I just want to mean, I don't want to hurt. It's a people pleaser. It's the anxiety. But I'm working through it. I'm walking past it. I'm growing. And that's all that freaking matters. Anyways, rant over. I'm not going to apologize for that, but I really want to. I'm not going to say it. It's eating me alive not to say it, but I'm not going to say it. Just to be clear, I don't think I would ever do a show like a Love Island. First of all, there's too much kissing involved. I could never do a show like Love Island because the amount of germs those people pass with each other is just disgusting. Why are you lip-sync? You are fucking on national television. It's crazy. I've done a lot of crazy shit online. I think I might draw the line on that one. Yeah, I can't do it. Babes. And I know they don't have to fuck, but like, Konji is a bastard, and you can't even bring your vibrator? How would you survive? My clitoris would be in so much pain. God damn it. I would feel so bad for her. So I don't think I'd ever be on Love Island. I also can't imagine having to, if I have a crush on someone, honestly, I take that back maybe. I think it might be sexy. Like, go ahead, baby. Go on that day and come back to me. But that's also the secure part of me. Interesting. I'm talking to myself now, aren't I? A show like that is so produced heavily that like your edits is important. And what that means that if you're not really interested in like reality TV stuff, the edit of a show is the most important part of it. So producers hold a lot of power with shows like that. So if a producer really likes you, you're going to get a good edit. If a producer hates you, you're going to get a terrible edit. Shows like The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, even Love is Blind, if they don't like you, they can choose to show certain things and not show other things. So you can see when Olandra and Shelly say certain things, but Huda gets a better edit because she gets more attention. And Maya got a great edit. They were trying to not give her a good edit, but I think America was like, no, you're going to give her a good edit. And then they tried to like shift things around because I really think they wanted Huda to win. She wasn't going to win. Okay, we're done yapping about Love Island, but let's talk about love because, guys, am I in love? I think I've been in love. You know what I mean? I think so. I think a love is a beautiful thing. It's done jazzy again. If you know, you know. I'm in London, and this particular comment, I'm going to put it there, sent me. If you don't know the lore, let me give you the lore. A couple of times ago, like maybe sometime around April, this sound was trending. You know, shoot a shoot. Duke Dennis, what's up with you? I think it was a Glorilla sound. I think it was Glor. It might not have been. I don't care. That sound was trending, and I knew a bunch of mutuals who did the sound. And one thing about me, my relationship life is private. I'm telling you guys right now, if I was in a relationship, you will not know. There will be signs. You will not know. You could guess. You might feel like you might know the person. You might think you do. You would never get a confirmation from me. I will pull a Issa Rae, and maybe you just see a wedding photo. Maybe, I don't know. You never know. But like, I wouldn't be private. I just wouldn't be public either. Anyways, the point is I did the, shoot a shoot, and I shot my shots on this gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous girl, Oinda Fitness. So let's talk about it too with regards to like my sexuality, because whenever I tell people I'm gay, people really like, they don't believe me. And I think it definitely has to do with the fact that I never talk about sexuality because I don't think you need to. So I did the shoot a shoots video, and I think I said in the first post, oh my God, I'm going to do this and it will break the internet. It didn't break the internet. I don't know what kind of person I thought I was, but it didn't break the internet, but I did it anyways. And when I did it, I tagged this incredible creator, Oinda Fitness. She's a fitness creator. She's hot. And I don't know why I did that. I know, like, I definitely had a crush on her, but like, it wasn't like a big crush where I was like, oh, this is somebody I want to be. Because like, those kind of things where you do because you just want to have fun, but you also like, I'm not the kind of person who puts my relationship online, so I didn't think it was going to go anywhere. I mean, she has like a 1.5 million followers. Like, she's big. She's not going to be checking for me. So I did it. And shamelessly, I'd also DM'd her before just to be like, oh my God, hey girl, I see you run, I run too. If I'm ever in London, I would love to run together. I don't know what the fudge I said that. I have better shooting shot skills, I promise. So I did that video. And I remember I was in Punta Cana that time when I did it. And she responded with like a silent video. She was just like, you know, hands back. And then she walked out of the frame.
Dude, Dennis, what's up with you?
So I was like, what? First of all, you're proud. What does that mean? Does that mean you like me? Does that mean you don't? Do you want more? Like, what's going on here? Anyway, so that was it. And I was like, you know what? If I'm in London, I'm going to, you know, say whatever. I DM'd her. I said whatever. And finally, I was like, I'm going to come to London and we're going to hang out. So here's the tea. So I get to London. You guys, let me actually tell you what happened. I'm actually so dead ass. I'm giving you guys the real tea. Okay. So I get to London and I text my friend. My friend also knows her. So I text my friend and I'm like, hey, she never responded to my DM. I did follow up with the shoot or shoot comment. She just ghosted. I'd like to take the L and say, okay, this person does not feel me like that. But I told my friend, I was like, I'm going to be in London though. I'm not going to quadruple DM you. I have pride. So instead, I told my friend that, hey, could you say, oh, by the way, my friend Sofi is going to be in your area if you're interested. So my friend went to be like, oh, random, by the way, just letting you know Sofi's going to be around. If you like want to hang out and stuff, like I could let her know you live in the area she's going to be at. Basically not trying to be like, I knew where she lived enough to know whatever. My friend then is like, bet. So then she finally DMs me and goes, hey, I hear you're going to be in my city. When you're here, let me know. Stupid. Are you talking to me? Yeah, shucks. So I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. I don't care. I guess I'm not gonna like act like I'm excited or whatever. Stop it. My drooling. And so I go to Manchester, which is where she stays. And funny enough, my cousin, literally my two cousins who I came to surprise in London, also live in Manchester. And she literally lives so close to my cousin too. It was like serendipity, like I like to say. So we finally meet. Let me tell you, I was wearing this like black top and like little booty shorts, and she was wearing all black. And she had sunglasses on. I had sunglasses on too. And it was just like cute. It was like, oh, hi. I was like, hi. And you guys, I was sweating. I was so shy. Because like, she's taller than me, one. And she's built really, really good. And I know I'm all talk about shooting my shot or whatever. But if I actually have a crush on you, I would be acting up. Like, I would be acting like I don't know how to act. Like, there was one time I had another crush recently. And I went to visit the crush. And I remember, I was at a restaurant, the crush came to meet me, and I was just very interested because I was just like, hi, hey, I would just be smiling. My teeth would not close. That's how much I would just be smiling. Anyways, so we hang out the whole day, and she spends like the whole day. So I'm like, oh, this is going well. We're cool. And then I needed some help with tourist stuff. So we're like, oh, she was super helpful, like really friendly. We then post this TikTok.
My name is Pink and I'm really glad to meet you. You're recommended to me by some people.
Guys, I think it has like 400,000 views now on her page, about 200,000 on my page. People were like, oh my God, you guys, we need the story, we need the lore, da da da. And I'm like, there really isn't any lore. We're just hanging out. It's nothing like that. Maybe I'm going to tell you guys the full story. I'm going to try to kill you. I'm good, you know, whatever. Fast forward to us going out. Why do you guys like to embarrass me? No, tell me. Why do you like to embarrass me? Because why in God's name are we walking the streets of the United Kingdom and all we're hearing is, oh my God, are you guys really together? Oh my God, I just saw you on my FYP. Oh my God, it's really you guys. Oh my God, you guys are really together. Guys, let's act with decorum. If you see me with somebody outside, close your freaking eyes. Like, even when I was with my guy cousin, like, I can look at people looking at me and whispering, like, is that guy? Shh. If you see me with somebody outside, unless I tell you otherwise and I give you the go ahead or I introduce them to you, act like they're not there. So I think it was like interesting because I was like, oh, like, you know, it just was too much attention. Like, I think I fucked up because there could have been something there, I think. But the fact that like everybody knows that like I shot my shot and we met up, and now it's too many eyes, and we're both very private people. So we're just like, this isn't going to work out. So there's no story there. Maybe there is. And I'm just telling you guys this so I could lie to you. And then you could decide for yourself if like me and her are going to get married or whatever. I don't know. I don't care. I'm not telling you. But yeah, that was pretty much it. It was very interesting. I actually had a good time though. It was really fun to like hang out with her and just be in London and be in Manchester and like just be a girl. Like UK summer has been summering. It's a vibe. It's been a vibe. It's just a vibe. Why am I talking like that? So disgusting. Moving on. Okay. So that's pretty much it. But yeah, I think I met her, and then I've also hung out with my friend Shaya. I mean, I got matching tattoos here. I don't know if y'all can see it. I got matching tattoos with my friend Shaya. That was crazy. Like the first couple of days since I came to London, I got a tattoo with her. That was insane. And she's probably going to be on the podcast soon. That was fun. There's also not been a lot of like difference. I think about like London creators versus American creators so far that I've seen, or like the London vibe. London reminds me a lot of New York. Yeah, like it really does remind me a lot of New York. So I think it was like the perfect place for me to come to right after New York, because I'm actually just really having a good time, like especially because the fact that I've been hanging out with family a lot. I've been feeling very like seen and understood. It just feels good. It's a good vibe. It's been feeling like a really good vibe, which I'm really grateful for. I'm going to be in London for more, so there's going to be a lot more episodes with London creators. And guys, I'm not going to lie to you, like London creators have been so sweet. Like I'm not going to say New York City creators are not sweet too. I just think that from what I've noticed, everyone here has just been like nice to me, and I don't know, everyone has just been really nice. It's been great to just like interact with people, and I've not met a lot of people that I want to see, but I think the dream would be if I got to see the boys shits and gigs. That I think would be iconic, but I feel like that's like big. Like that's a lot. I still think they're too big for me, but I think it would be fun to do a video with them. Maybe not yet, but soon. You never know. If you're seeing this, clip this and post it on TikTok. Maybe shits and gigs will want to hang out with me. But also just to curse them out, because I did curse them out in an episode when we were talking about some stupid nonsense about black women. Yikes. Maybe they're not gonna want to hang out with me because of that. Oh well, what can I do? But yeah, it's been really fun. I feel like when I go back to the US, I said if I'm going back to the US, I beg. But when I go back to the US, I think it'll be fun. I'm learning so much, and I think that was the goal for me with travel. Is like, oh, I'm in a space now where I'm learning so much about myself. And guys, I'm being so confident. Like, I feel like I'm in my confident era right now. It's just been cool to be unapologetically me, and meeting you guys in person here has been such a like life-changing experience for me, because you guys really show me that like, oh, I work hard for this shit, and I feel like I'm in a different ball game. Like my content is doing good, I'm doing good, life is good. Like I have no regrets. I am so glad I dropped everything and became a nomad. I really am. I think there's so much more to do in life, and I think I'm learning so much more too. So I'm really excited for like the future and the next episodes and like so much more. So you guys will also like let me know, please. Like if whatever you want me to talk about, I'm really open, because you can clearly tell I have a lot of opinions, don't you? But yeah, okay. So we're gonna do like some hot take lightning round, and then I actually asked you guys to give me questions I'm going to be answering too. So we're gonna be answering those as well. First rapid fire is: anxious attachment is just being dramatic. No, I don't think being an anxious or having an anxious attachment style is being dramatic. I think it can be considered dramatic a lot, because of if that is weaponized with a lot of emotion, then it becomes dramatic. So if someone like Huda is crying, screaming, yelling because of their insecurity, it becomes dramatic. But at the core of it, I don't think you're being dramatic. I think you're just anxious. Like anxiety is dramatic at the core, right? You're scared or terrified of an outcome. Love Island couples never last anyway. I think relationships now are so, no one wants to work for relationships. Can we talk about that real quick? Me included. That's a broad statement to make, isn't it? No one wants to work for relationships, me included. My cousin is getting married soon. I don't know if you can hear me when I said that. Can you hear me? You can. My cousin is getting married soon. Inshallah. Oh, yeah. And he told me he had known his fiance, essentially, for about 6 months. And I was like, oh my God, 6 months and you're getting married. And I'm Muslim. I come from a Muslim background too. And in Islam, that's relatively short. Like in 2-3 months, you know. And he used the sentence or the line, if you know, you know. When you're ready, you're ready. And in today's dating culture, I think people think because there are options, that means you don't have a choice. And I think we forget that. The beauty about love isn't the variety of the options, but the intentionality in the choice you're making with the person you're choosing to spend the rest of your life with. Because I don't know if you guys follow that couples therapy page. There's this beautiful, I'm going to try to find the TikTok and post it. If not, I'm going to try to maybe give you a broad idea of what the therapist said. But essentially she said something around like, the thing about relationships is you have to actively choose to understand each other. That's all it is with relationships. Love is going to die. Maybe not fully die, but love is going to wane. It's going to move. It's going to shift. But love is also like choosing to actively be with someone and love that person. And I think in today's society, when we talk about polyamory, when we talk about situationships, when we talk about commitment, when we talk about all these things, it all boils down to the fear of not getting chosen. So if I'm not going to get chosen and they're not choosing, I'm going to abstain from the process itself. I'm just going to play the long game. And we see that a lot when we think about like men waiting till they're 35 and then they just end up marrying the person who's available because they're ready to choose. We see that with women who at 23, 24, they get chosen and they just settle down and marry because they don't even think they have a choice. It's so interesting. So I say the question is, this is not rapid fire, but Love Island couples never last anyways. I think first of all, Love Island as a system, like as an idea, is very crazy. Like you're putting a bunch of people in a room and telling them they need to fall in love with each other in 2 weeks and then they're supposed to last in the real world without any real world challenges. Like that's insane. I don't think they're supposed to last, honestly, because that's like that just breeds anxiety. Like imagine me sleeping beside you and then I remember the time you were kissing another girl in a challenge. That would drive me crazy. So I wouldn't say necessarily like, yeah, as a show that's hard. Like Love is Blind is such an example to like, I think we forget again that the real world isn't behind producers' cameras. Isn't like social media also has a lot to play with it. It's just there's so much more. I have so much more to say. Maybe this would be a separate episode again. But yeah, Love Island and couples never last anyway for a good reason. UK creators are more authentic than US creators. I think that's a broad statement. So I don't think that's true. UK creators are not as authentic as US creators. I don't think you can compare. Like I don't think, because like the system is different. Like US creators, if you're a Black creator, then you're competing with other Black creators. The market is larger. If you're in LA maybe versus if you're a New York creator, like there's so much nuance to it. With UK creators, I think there's a lot more collaboration here for sure than it will be in the US, but also there's a lot more of the pot to share in the US, if that makes sense. Getting recognized means you've made it. Yeah, I don't know. Everyone has a different definition of what you've made it means, but essentially I would say the first time someone did tell me I listened to your podcast, I was like, oh, we've made it. Not my TikTok, not my Instagram, my podcast. Like, I think this is like my little baby. So when I get people saying they like my podcast, it makes me feel really, really good. I'm really, really grateful for the opportunities that the podcast has given me because your girl can yap. Okay. So I think your definition of you've made it matters in this context. And commitment issues are just being realistic. I don't think realism is necessarily why people or commitment issues aren't necessarily rooted in realism. I don't think so. I think people have commitment issues for a variety of reasons. I mean, I have commitment issues. We all do. I also think it's really the society we live in. I'll give you an example. So I was watching a video and it was the folks that started OkCupid. And OkCupid is one of the first, maybe is the first online dating platform that existed. And at the time, I remember the founder said that they thought this was like a gem of an idea. Like online dating at that capacity was insane for them. But then one of them said the downside of that is the fact that it led to a variety of choice. Because think about it. In the olden days, you organically met someone and you didn't think about the amount of choices you had. You didn't think about finding someone else attractive or being with someone else. If you went to a bar, you went to an event, you went to a dinner, you saw someone and you guys hit it off, you felt like in some way the pressure to make that choice because you don't know when next you're going to see them again. If your parents set you up, if you had an arranged marriage, there was limited opportunities to find other options. And maybe that's also why cheating was a thing, because you might feel like you're stuck with the one person. You thought maybe you didn't know there were other options out there. There's a cycle. There's different, I'm going to always find, the devil's advocate in there. But essentially, I think in today's dating culture, right, we all sort of think we have so many choices. Like, you're just swiping left and right on people. If I go on Instagram right now and type WLW, there's so many options. If I go on if I put on my story right now, does anybody want to come meet me in my hotel? I promise you, people will come meet me. If I give anyone the opportunity right now, I could be wifed up or not in 2 seconds. You know what I mean? Like, people have a variety of choice. And because of that, I think the art of love is getting lost. And I'm not saying this from like, with a chip on my shoulder. I'm saying this looking down on anyone. I'm not saying this at all, because I'm also struggling with this, right? Because I'm scared. I'm scared of the choices I have to make at some point. Anyone who knows me will tell you that they didn't think I was ever going to be in a relationship. I just started being out and loud and proud about liking women or, wanting more for myself. I'm just navigating it too. But I think it's something like I'm starting to ask myself a lot of is, again, what does this look like? The cost and effect of the amount of choices we have, essentially. So commitment issues are definitely not just being realistic. I think it's just running away from the choices we have to make. You know what I mean? All right. Now we're going to be going into listener questions and reactions. Oh my God, that was not a lightning round. I'm telling you guys. I'm sorry. One of you guys asked me, I wish I had the names here. I'm going to see if the team can get it for me. Okay. How do you know if you're anxiously attached or just intuitive? This is a good question. How do you know if you're anxiously attached or just intuitive? By addressing the root cause of what is leading to the reaction. For example, there was one time I was talking to someone who just was not the best at communicating, and he traveled a lot, right? And he was always just on the go. And there was one time he was traveling, I think he went to Cuba or something. And I remember I didn't hear from him from I think maybe 10 hours or something. And I was like, oh, he's found someone in Cuba. He doesn't care about me. I was spiraling. And I'm telling you, I was spiraling. And I think at 3 a.m. Cuban time, I finally get a call from him. And he's like, I'm so sorry. I'm not I didn't have Wi-Fi. Cuba's Wi-Fi is terrible. And explained what was going on and said, okay, if you don't hear from me from now on, just understand that it's the Wi-Fi. My intuition would have told me maybe, oh, it's Cuba. They have Wi-Fi issues. They go through a lot of stuff with Wi-Fi there. Probably that's why he's not responsive. I never once thought about anything else other than the fact that I would be getting hurt by this person. Does that make sense? My anxiety then was never rooted in any other reason except for my insecurity about this person not wanting to speak to me. That's less intuition and more anxiety. Because I could have read that situation as, oh, he might not have Wi-Fi, or he might not just be available because he's on a trip. So a secure response to that would have been me sending a message and saying, hey, I've called you a few times. You're not responding. I'm not going to assume anything's going on. Just let me know you're okay. I'm just a bit worried. So I, in that sense, have done my part in sharing my worry, but not necessarily to put anxiety on the situation, but just make sure they understand that, hey, reach me when you're are ready. Now, if they don't reach me, they disappear for a couple of days, my intuition would then tell me, oh, this person is really not interested in communicating properly. And then they're ready to go. Does that make sense? So I hope that answers that question. How do you deal with having an anxious attachment style? By being secure. I think that's something I've been working on for the past year and a half almost. I really thought I was secure enough until I fell in love hard, like fully hard. And I realized, oh, I still have a lot of work to do. But I think that's also in my friendships as well. And I also found out that I got my attachment style from my mom. And what I mean by that is my mom is a very anxious person. Like if I don't pick up the phone, she's calling me 20 times. I think most African parents are like that. So I don't fault the way she handles a lot of things. She's learning, I'm learning at the same time too. So it's very interesting seeing us navigate the stuff together. But definitely got that from my mom. But again, to actually answer your question, I think it's a lot of growth and understanding and a lot of self-work. You have to really, 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 really love yourself. You have to love yourself enough to understand your self-worth, to be able to navigate life with an anxious society, just being anxious in general. I'm learning that anxiety definitely speaks volumes and comes up in your professional life, your work life. Like you guys know, I talk about having anxiety a lot, even with my vlogs. But the one thing I know is I can't ever question my self-worth and self-love. And if anything is making me doubt that, then I'm going back to therapy. And I think therapy also helps. But I hope that answered the question a little bit. I think just working on yourself. I think there's a lot of people who are anxious and especially have anxious attachment styles who are insecure enough in their love for themselves that ends up making them question a lot of their self-worth. And also it helps when you're anxious to have people around you who pour into you as much as you're pouring into them, because I think that's something really special too. All right, guys, I think we are done for today's episode. I loved chatting with you. I'm loving our solo episodes, guys. Sorry, I was checking the time. This is a solid good episode. I love our solo episodes. I feel like I'm coming into my own. I can't wait for like episode 100 where I'm just like just yapping. But thank you so much for listening to AITL the podcast. If you love this episode, guys, if you're listening to this on Apple or Spotify, give us a 5-star rating, please. Oh my God, I sound like an Uber driver. I really do. Like, give me 5 stars. Also like and comment on YouTube if you're watching this on YouTube. I love you guys very much. I might actually be changing and doing some more special episodes once I'm rooted. Right now I'm on the go, so I don't know if that's coming anytime soon, but it's an opportunity for like some member perks coming up really soon. Send this to your group chat, have them ask questions, leave us a comment, leave us a voice note on AITL.com. And let me know what your own like sort of attachment style is in YouTube. Oh my God, YouTube. And your Love Island hot takes. Did you want Amaya to win? Are you a Huda stan? Why are you a Huda stan? And just let me know all of it. I can't wait to see you guys in my next episode. And I can't wait for you to meet our next guest. She's super special to me, or he's super special. I can't remember who's coming up next, but we're recording them soon. And I'll see you guys in my next episode. Am I Too Loud? The podcast hosted by the Odditty. Signing out. Woo! Okay, guys, we're done. I just really like this hotel room and this bed is comfortable. What else is there to say? Nothing. Oh gosh, I love y'all very much. If you enjoyed this video, you're gonna like this one right here.